Love can be the start to a wonderful and long-lasting relationship, but love is not enough to sustain the relationship. There are far more important things and deeper values that sustain a relationship aside love. And that's what I'm going to be sharing with you today. So stick with me. Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Like you would have heard me say in my introduction, love is not enough to sustain your relationship. I see a lot of people get into relationship just because I love him. I love her. Ooh, okay, that is really good, but I want you to know that there are many more other things that will guarantee the success of your relationship aside love. Don't get me wrong, love is absolutely amazing. Love is great. Love is wonderful. Love is beautiful. Love is sweet. But love is never ever enough. Okay, so if you have watched some of my other videos, you know I am a big advocate of being in love with someone that you want to get into a relationship with. And I wouldn't say to you like, if you don't love them and have these other things, then go ahead. No, love works alongside these other things. So if you have these other things but you don't love the person, then there's no need. Okay, there are 3 elements of a relationship. 1, you. 2, your partner. 3, the relationship itself. Okay, and so for this relationship to be successful, these 3 elements need to be, bound together by other things aside love. The first thing is compatibility. All right, now compatibility means that you have like shared goals, you have the same interests, you have the same worldviews, your values align, so the alignment of like future plans and future goals. And honestly, like, love is an emotional process. If you agree with me, there are certain times you see certain people and you just love them for no reason. Like, you don't even know where they're from, you don't know what they love, you don't know what they do, you don't know like a lot about them. You just see them and you love them, or you've observed them from a distance and you love them. And then when you come closer, you kind of say, ooh, like, there are certain things that we don't agree on, things like that. And that's because like love is just purely emotional, and compatibility has to be a logical process. And that's why you then sit down and begin to ask yourself questions, or even ask them questions like, do I really have the same values as this person? Do we share the same, worldviews? Are we, if you're someone who is really keen on having someone from your religion, then that will come into play. Then do we believe the same thing? Because this will be the basis on which we raise our family, right? Like the values that we have, we're going to pass on to our kids. The values that we have will be the basis for making decisions about our life, about our future, and it has to definitely align. And in terms of religion, like, how do we want to raise our kids, our family? Where do we want to go to? Do we want to practice different religions? So what are we going to teach our children? Are they just going to be there without anything, So there are many things that will go into compatibility as a factor for sustaining your relationship. And speaking about compatibility, for example, it could also be like genotype, right? If you're AS and you love someone who is AS, you will not go ahead to get married because you're going to have children whose genotype will be SS, for example, and you don't want to bring in children into this world to suffer because you love somebody. All right, and maybe this is the point where I should say that there's not just one person in this life for you to love. You know how they say, the rib of my rib? Yes, absolutely. When you find the right person, absolutely. But it doesn't mean that, if you don't marry this one person, you're never going to love somebody in your life. That is not true. Okay, so please do not just say, well, I love them, let's get married. You need to check that you both are compatible. The next thing you need to take a look at is conflict resolution. Now, you've been with this person for a while, and you've known them for a while, and then you love them, but when you have issues, you probably just sweep it under the carpet, or you give yourselves like silent treatment and nobody's talking about it. You just gloss over the issue because we are in love, and then you don't deal with the issues, and then one day they just blow up in your faces, and then they hurt your relationship. And so you want to check and say, well, we've been in this relationship for a while, or this person I'm going to go into a relationship with, how have we been able to solve issues in the past? Like, when we have issues, have we like amicably resolved them, come to a conclusion, find good ways to just solve our problems? Or are we at loggerheads for a really long time and we're unable to solve our own issues? Conflicts will usually always be in every relationship. There's no relationship that do not have conflict, okay? But what is important is how you're able to handle this conflict with the person you're with in that relationship. I have a video which I will link here or here, I don't know. I always don't know if it's the right or the left. I need to take note of that. So I'm going to link that video where it talks about the benefits of conflict. That's what I talked about in the video. How conflict will help your relationship, okay? And not hurt your relationship. So how you handle conflict is actually really, really important, and it's something you should look at, even if you love the person. If you love them and you both love yourselves, but you can't always seem to come to an agreement or resolve your issues and they just get worse and worse, then that's something you need to look out for, because let me tell you, it will not get better if you don't deal with it. It will only just get worse every single time, okay? So even if you love them, this is something you need to look at. How do we resolve conflicts in the past? How have we dealt with issues that are really, really tough? And sometimes it could even be avoidance, like you just avoid talking about it because you don't want problems. Relationships will always come with hard conversations which you need to have rather than run away from, because let me tell you, if you run away from them, they're going to face you bigger. And let me tell you, more worse. It will be worse in the future, okay? So you need to just sit down and think about these things. And if there's someone that you can resolve your issues with amicably, they are mature, they're not attacking you when you're trying to deal with an issue. They bring out the issue and they, talk about the issue with you. And, it's not just like, oh, you're this, you're that. It's that, well, this is the issue we have before us. These are the root causes of this issue, and how can we deal with it? Okay, so you should know that you and your partner, you are a team when you're resolving an issue. It is you and your partner against the issue, not you and your partner against yourself. You're not arguing to win anything. You are part of a team, and so both of you are playing on the same team, and you're trying to tackle the issue that is hurting your relationship, not tackling yourself or attacking yourself. And so this is a very important factor to think about when you actually love someone and you're thinking of going into a relationship with them. One of the great characteristics of having a loving relationship is that you're able to look outside of yourself and, think about the needs of your partner and the desires of your partner and how you can, help them get what they want, okay? That's part of it. So sacrifices, no doubt, are a very, very important part of any relationship. But you need to ask yourself, what am I really sacrificing, and is it worth it in this relationship? So for example, if you sacrifice your self-respect, your self-dignity, for that relationship, then it's not worth it. It's a very problematic one, okay? No partner who loves you will put you down or will try to damage your identity or your dignity or your self-respect. Rather, they will do things that will even boost your self-esteem, your self-respect, and your self-dignity. But if you find out that consistently they are trying to bring you down, they are trying to, make you feel less of yourself, or you're sacrificing yourself, like literally losing yourself just because you want to be in a relationship with this person, then it's absolutely not worth it, even if you love them, okay? If you love them, but you're losing yourself in the process, you're losing your self-respect, you're losing your dignity, you're losing your life purpose, like you're not even pursuing the things that you need to pursue in life, you're not aiming for your own goals, they're not contributing towards you, getting your goals, then you're sacrificing too much. Absolutely, you are sacrificing too much. A loving relationship is supposed to supplement your self-identity, not to damage it or to replace it, okay? So you need to have a life outside of your relationship and within yourself, okay? So don't lose your self-esteem, your self-respect, your self-dignity because you want to be in a relationship, and certainly not your life ambitions and your purpose as well. Another thing that will sustain a relationship apart from love is effective communication. Effective communication means that you and your partner are always talking to each other, you're listening to each other, you're sharing what your needs are, you're sharing what your thoughts are. You know, they understand what you want at every point in time because you're talking to them and because you're sharing, you know, how you feel with them as well. You know, so if you don't communicate with your partner, if you're not always communicating, then there's no way they understand what your thoughts are or what your needs are, and they can't meet them. And once they are not able to meet your needs and your thought, you don't feel like you are nourished in this relationship. You don't feel like your partner cares about you because you both are not communicating, and that can take a hit on your relationship. Okay, so lack of communication can absolutely kill your relationship, even if you love each other, right? Remember when you first started, like, your lovey-dovey stuff, you're always texting yourself, you're always talking, you share things about your day, about what you ate, where you're going to. Even if you have plans for the next 6 months, you're already sharing with them now, and that's communication. And let me tell you something, when you start talking to people regularly and all the time, like, it deepens the connection that you have with them. If you've checked, just try and see, like, if you've spoken to someone continuously and consistently for a period of time, you kind of feel a connection with that person. And it's the same thing in your relationship. If you keep talking to your partner, telling them what you want, what you feel, what your thoughts are, sharing your good times with them, sharing your bad times with them, just communicate. It will help your relationship a lot. So aside the fact that you love them, if you don't talk to them, you lose that connection that you have, and then you begin to question yourself, oh, does he love me? Does he not love me? Oh, I love him, but we're not even talking. I love him, but you need to communicate. So communication is important in any relationship aside love. Another factor that is important for a relationship to go ahead or to be sustained is timing. Timing is important because you might be in love with someone who's not ready to commit yet or ready to settle down. And even if you love them, that relationship will not happen because they're not just ready. They probably want to pursue their career. They probably want to, you know, pursue further education. They're probably doing different things or have different priorities in their life at that point in time, and they do not want to settle. But you want to, and you're willing to do whatever it takes to ensure that happens. Okay, but they are not ready, and so it's not going to happen. And in fact, I'll advise you against it. If someone is not ready yet, then don't like try to nail them down to do it. Don't try to, you know, do everything you can to ensure that they absolutely agree to be in a relationship with you or even get married to you. Here's the reason: if they give up their life goals or their priorities at that time to get married to you, they are definitely going to resent you for it in the future, because at certain point in time in their life, if they don't get to do those things, then they will just say to you, well, I wanted to do this at this particular time, but you didn't allow me to do it, and they will keep resenting you for not achieving that goal. Okay, so even if you love them, you need to let it go because the timing is not right for both of you. Another reason why that relationship might not go through might be family objections and differences. I've seen this happen a lot of times because, like, there are two people who genuinely love each other, but their family members are in disagreement, and I've seen it happen over and over again. I'm kind of divided on this particular one because, again, I always have the opinion that the decision is based on the two people who love themselves. However, this is not cast in stone because there are certain family differences that are really, really deeply rooted into the fabrics of that family and their generation that you absolutely cannot just come and just take for granted, right? So you should treat this on a case-by-case basis, depending on what their reasons are. Sometimes the reasons might be religious, sometimes it might be like the socioeconomic status of your partner, sometimes it might be their lifestyle choices, it might be a lot of things. And the question you need to ask yourself at every point when this objection is being raised is it really true? And are these things negative, or am I just trying to make up for my partner? Okay, let me tell you, sometimes your family members can see the things that you cannot see, or an outsider can see the things that you cannot see just by looking at you both in the relationship. And let me tell you the truth, sometimes you are clouded by love, so much love, and which is absolutely okay, that you do not see the negative things in your relationship or the negative things in your partner. It will take someone who is an outsider. By an outsider, I mean someone who is not in that relationship with the two of you. Obviously, it has to be only the two of you. It takes someone who is not in that relationship to see, what is happening in your relationship. And I'll give you a very good example. So for example, if you are in the loo and you are using the toilet, right? If you stay in that toilet for a while and the door is shut, you kind of get accustomed to the smell of your own poo, that it doesn't smell bad, right? You're just there comfortable pressing your phone, doing whatever it is you're doing. But once somebody opens that door, the smell that hits them in the face, they're like, oh my God, how are you sitting here? But you're there because, well, you've gotten used to it. You can't even perceive anything. You're just like, why are you making the fuss? It's not even really smelling, But that you have there's a tendency that your poo is actually smelling really bad, right? That is the same thing, in relationships. Like, other people can see and can tell you, look, there are certain things in this relationship that, but you cannot see it because you're blinded by love, all right? So sometimes you need to sit down and think logically and objectively and say, are these things they are saying, are they really true? Like, these objections they are making, are they really true? And, is that something that he needs to change? Or is it something that we can't go through because these things are like parallel lines that can never meet? Okay, so I wouldn't say just dismiss the objections or the differences, that they've brought up, because absolutely you need your family's blessings in your relationship. And when I say your family, I mean like your father and your mother. You need their blessings in your relationship, and you want to ensure, that you get those blessings. And so, yeah, when they raise those objections or differences, don't just dismiss it. Just take a look at it and see if you're really excusing some things because you love your partner. And if there are valid reasons, then it is what it is. If it can't go through, then it can't go through. Because yes, you do love each other, but sustaining your relationship is based on deeper values other than love. And the final thing I want to say is to check whether there is ego and insecurity in that relationship, right? You love them, absolutely agree, but the presence of ego and insecurity in your relationship will suffocate your relationship and kill it, okay? And how to check is, first of all, in the case of ego, like, are there people who would say sorry, and take responsibility for the wrongs that they've done when they offend you in the relationship? Will they say sorry to you? Will they take responsibility, or will they shift the blames to you, and say, well, you're the cause, you're the reason why I did this? Or will they gaslight you? These are things that you need to check out for, okay? But if it's someone who would genuinely apologize to you and accept responsibility for what, they've done, then that is absolutely amazing. And in the case of insecurity, like, is this someone who would allow you to have a life of your own outside of the relationship? Like, they're not stopping you from meeting your friends or your family members, or from going to other social gatherings where they won't be present. They're not trying to be with you 24/7, just sucking the life out of you. Even if you love them and these things are in the relationship, then that relationship is headed for the rocks. All these things will take a hit on your relationship. So it is important that even if you love them, you need to open your eyes to see that certain values are also important. Remember, love is an emotional process, but these are the values that you need to check to ensure that you and this person can work, even though you love each other, are the logical processes that you need to go through. So check your values, check if they align, check the other tips I've given in this video, and see that there are things that are okay for you to go ahead. And then absolutely trust me, once all the good values are present and then the love is present, boom, your relationship is going to be like heaven on earth. Do you get what I mean? Like, it's going to be really, really, really sweet, okay? And I'm all for loving relationships. I'm all for like sweet relationships. Honestly, like, when you're with a good partner, it is absolutely sweet. I can't tell you how amazing it is, okay? So just ensure that you check all of these things and see that they align, with what you want in your life. and the family that you want to raise and the kind of marriage that you want to have. Okay, please let me know in the comment section if you've ever loved someone you know is not right for you, but you love them, but you just know that this relationship cannot work. Just put it in the comment section. I'd like to read from you and tell me the reason why you think that the relationship wasn't going to work even though you loved them. Thank you for coming, today. Thank you for always coming to my YouTube channel. I appreciate you, and you don't know how much I love you. So thank you so much. If you did enjoy this video, please give it a thumbs up. Hit that like button, and also do not forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel, and do not forget to share this video with all your friends and family. I definitely love you and I enjoy having you here. I will see you in the next video. Bye.